It's not a matter of being mean or spiteful. It's a matter of necessity. It's time to call out those guys in green and go have them handled.
Who are the guys in the green that he's talking about? So I'm not going to make fun of him and obviously point to the Key and Peele sketch that immediately comes to mind here that seemingly is a direct carbon copy of what Mark Robinson's getup looks like, down to the mother holster for his phone on his belt. But goddamn, I'm pissed. Royally pissed. Okay, anyway.
Hello, and welcome to the 5th annual meeting of the Tallahassee Black Republicans. Now, I'm pissed. Royally pissed.
Another thing that was known beforehand was that he was a gooner. Mark Robinson, the Republican candidate for governor of North Carolina. This came out on September 3rd by The Intelligencer, New York Magazine. Mark Robinson really used to love porn, according to the guys at the porn store. This was a story that came out at the beginning of this month. Now, from 1990s all the way into the early 2000s, Mark Robinson frequented a porn store in North Carolina, okay? A 24-hour porn video shop in Greensboro. Who spoke with the North Carolina investigative website, The Assembly. He says Robinson was coming in to watch videos in a private booth as many as 5 nights a week. The man, who is beautifully named Louis Money, said that at one of the stores he worked at, gents patrons could buy videos for $50 each or preview them in private booths for $8. Every night that I worked, which would have been 5 nights a week, I saw Mark, Louis Money said. He was spending a good amount of money. Robinson previewed at least 2 tapes a night per money. He was a certified gooner. He would go to the porn store to crank one out literally twice a night, 5 times a week. I will share this every chance I get because Mark Robinson still hasn't paid my buddy Lewis for his porn purchases, and anyone who's that financially irresponsible has no business being our governor. Oh my God. He was not only a gooner, but he refused to pay his goon debt? How do you go into debt cranking, dude? The lieutenant governor owes me money by the Trailer Park Orchestra? Okay, I'm putting North Carolina so much higher than Long Island. It is now officially one of the greatest states in this beautiful country. Down to the nipple-pierced guy. I love this state. North Carolina, you are beautiful. I apologize. I was unfamiliar with your game until now. This is a song by, I guess, the Trailer Park Orchestra, and the person who's singing is Louis Money, an owner of a porn store that the current lieutenant governor of North Carolina, the state, frequented quite a bit. And he frequented it so much that he apparently owed the guy, Louis Money. He owed him, he had porn debt. Now that you are primed with the knowledge of what Mark Robinson is, from the Adolf Hitler support to being a massive gooner, let's take a look at what K-File found in his investigative reporting.
We start with a CNN exclusive in our politics lead. CNN's K-File has uncovered shocking new details about the Republican nominee for governor of North Carolina. He is the state's current lieutenant governor. He is a man who says a lot of wild and offensive things. His name is Mark Robinson. A CNN investigation finds that Robinson posted on a porn site starting in 2008. He described himself on the porn site as a, quote, black Nazi, and he wrote posts expressing support for reinstating slavery. And that's just the stuff we can tell you on television. CNN's Andrew Kaczynski did the digging, broke the story, and he spoke with Lieutenant Governor Robinson today. I want to warn viewers that this report includes some disturbing and rather graphic comments. Andrew.
Now, you might find yourself asking the very serious question here. Absolutely, who the would write comments on a porn website? Sometimes when I'm in the throes of cranking it, I often ask that same question. I'm like, who the is writing comments? And it's always usually like bots. Right? Turns out, current Lieutenant Governor of North Carolina is the answer to that question. Okay? You are a real gooner. I tip my hat to you, sir.
First, tell us what you discovered here.
I want to walk people through just some of them. Take a look right here at this one. In one post, Robinson called himself a, quote, black Nazi. And when describing then President Barack Obama, writing, quote, I'd take Hitler over any of the that's in Washington right now. It even goes beyond that. Another disturbing post, Robinson defended slavery, writing, quote, slavery is not that bad, and I wish they would bring slavery back. I would.
Okay, there's definitely something wrong with, like, I guess this is like an even more severe version of like what Republicans always fantasize about in terms of like what their role would look like in a libertarian dystopia. It's like, dog, you do Uber Eats right now. What makes you think you would not be a serf under a ANCAP style governance? Like, why do you think things would change for you? And the same question could be presented to Mark, which is like, dude, you're black. Why do you think you would not immediately be categorically enslaved under a white supremacist governance? Like, what are you saying? This makes no sense. I often talk about whiteness as a socio-political construct, right? And it is, especially in the United States of America, it means like proximity to power, and whiteness is defined by what it's not, and what it's not is black. The one group of people that will never be under the white umbrella is black people. So if you're a black man being like, oh man, slavery's not that bad, can't wait to buy me some slaves, is like, no, dude, that wouldn't work that way. It would not work that way at all.
And CNN.com were made on the message board of a porn website called Nude Africa. And Jake, in addition to those posts, he also expressed views on Nude Africa that sharply contradict his current policies as a socially conservative candidate for governor. For example, he has been vocally anti-transgender, but look at what Robinson wrote on the porn message board more than a decade ago, writing that he, quote, liked watching transgender porn, adding, quote, that's effing hot, and called himself a, quote, perv.
He's a chaser! Bro, classic. Oh my God. Also, K-File, what are you saying? That doesn't mean he's pro, that doesn't mean he's pro-trans, dude. That just means he's a chaser. A lot of transphobes are. Alex Jones comes to mind.
In another thread that was discussing the story of a woman who said she was raped by her taxi driver while drunk, Robinson wrote, quote, and the moral of this story, don't F a drunk white bitch.
So he wrote all of this stuff years ago before he got into politics. How are you sure that it's him?
Yeah, so CNN, Jake, we found that Robinson consistently used that same username, Mini Soldier, that he used on Nude Africa in all of his social media. You can see it here. He used it on Pinterest, Black Planet, YouTube. He even used it as his Twitter handle. His full name was also listed on Nude Africa, and an email we found he used on Nude Africa, he used on several other websites. Now, the biographical data from multiple websites using the name Mini Soldier matches Robinson exactly, the exact date of birth, his hometown, the fact that his mother worked at an HBCU, that his favorite episode of The Twilight Zone is number 22.
Oh my God. This is like when gray names come into chat and say some unhinged and then MHUD finds out like their current geographical location in like under 30 seconds. And then we look at their tweets and they're like defending pedophilia. These people have no OPSEC, dude. They have no OPSEC whatsoever. They just straight up are out there. They're just out there living their lives, saying some insane unhinged shit, and with not a care about who sees it.
Then, when he was just a common citizen. So what did Lieutenant Governor Robinson have to say about all this today when you talked to him?
So Robinson calls the story trash. He says it's not him. Here is just a little bit of that interview. Lieutenant Governor Robinson, thank you so much for being willing to talk to us. I think we'll just jump right into it. Do you deny that this account is you?
Well, first off, let me say thank you so much for allowing me to come here and clear the air. We absolutely do. This is not us. These are not our words, and this is not anything that is characteristic of me, nor has it ever been.
How do you explain all of the matching details on this profile? The profile on Nude Africa lists your full name as Mark Robinson. The email listed on the account is an email that you have used elsewhere on the internet, including with your photo. You have used that name, Mini Soldier, on multiple social media.
I think the email is literally like his name and his birth date too, which is what makes it even funnier. Because like all the way back in 2010, when he was working the assembly line of a furniture store, ain't nobody is gonna like use his identity like that. If you want to rule out the possibilities of